Guys, I welcome you all to our live Linux training for members, and this is session number 19. And in this session, we will talk about the local user management. In this session, I will teach you how to identify user account on a Unix computer using commands like who am I, ID, and many more. And in the second part, I will teach you how to use the su command, and then I will teach you the sudo command and some more commands that we use in Linux for the local user management. The first command which I'm going to tell you is who am I. Who am I command tells you your username. Let me show you. Let me create a duplicate tab here and let me switch in the account of Vikas Nehra user. Let me switch. To switch in the account of any other user, we can use su command. Su, and then we can write hyphen and the name of the user. So I will mention here su hyphen Vikas Nehra, and now I have logged in as Vikas Nehra user. Actually, I have switched in the account of Vikas Nehra, and if I will execute who am I command here, it will show me my username, which is Vikas Nehra. So who am I command is used to know from which user account you are currently logged in the machine. The next command is who command. The who command will give you information about who is logged on the system. So it will show you the details of the users who are currently logged in. So you can see that from 3 terminals using the root credentials, I've logged in the machine. One on the local terminal, and these two are the IP addresses of my Windows host machine. So there are 3 users currently logged in this machine. 3 times I have used the root user account to log in the machine. In the same way, if you will execute who am I, then it will show you only the result of who. With who am I, the who command will display only the line pointing to your current session. It will only show you the details of the current session. While if you will execute the who command, it will give you the details of all the users. The first column here shows us the username. The second one shows us the terminal name or terminal number, the date and time, and the last shows the IP address or the location from where we are currently logged in. If you want to see more details, you can use W command. Press W and press enter. So it will give you more detailed information as compared to who command. The W command shows you who is logged on and what they are doing. It also shows the username, the uptime, the number of users, the average load on the machine, means the average load on the CPU. And at the same time, it shows us the details of the usernames, the terminals, and from where they are currently logged in, their login time, what they are doing. So all this information we can extract by running the W command on the machine. The next command is ID command. The ID command will give you your user ID, primary group ID, and a list of groups that you belong to. After the ID command, either you can mention the username, or if you don't mention anything, it will by default shows you your own details. So here it is showing me the details of the root user. Since I'm currently using the root account, here it is the user ID of root, it is the group ID, it is the primary group ID or primary group. Then this information is the SE Linux context. We will talk about it later when I will teach you the SE Linux. And if I will execute this command from a normal user account, then it will give me the details of that particular normal user account from I'm currently logged in. Here it is showing me the details of the Vikas Nehra user. Or in case if I want to see the details of any other user, I can simply mention the username after the ID command, and it will show me the user ID, the username, the group ID, the group name, and the primary group of that particular user. This time it will not print the details of the SE Linux. Now I will teach you how you can switch in the account of the other user. We use su command to switch in the account of any other user. The su command allows you or allows a user to run a shell as another user. So with the su command, we can switch in the account of any other user. Like if I want to switch in the account of Vikas Nehra, I will write Vikas Nehra after su command. So we need to mention the target where we want to switch, and we can press enter. So this command will allow me to switch in the account of Vikas Nehra, but it will not let me use the environment details of that particular user account. Here you can see that I'm currently inside the root home directory, but I'm using the credentials, or I'm using the user account of Vikas Nehra user. So by running the su command, I can switch in the account of any other user. Let me go back, let me exit. So I will come back to my previous account. If I will try to switch from a normal user account to the super user account or the root account, I will mention su and root and press enter. In that case, I will have to provide the root password. Otherwise, it will not let me use the root account. But here also, I'm using my own environment details. It is not allowing me to use the environment of the root user. So temporarily, we switch in the account of any other user by running the su command. Suppose I want to use the environment details like variables, aliases, and the home directory of that particular user account where I'm going to switch. So I will mention a slash or a dash sign, and after that I will mention the username. So I will simply write su hyphen and the username. This command will allow me to switch in the account of the user Vikas Nehra, and at the same time it will allow me to use his environment and his home directory. Here I'm completely there in his home directory and using his environment. Like I can use his aliases, variables, and the other things. So there is the difference between su and su hyphen. With the su command, we only switch in the account of the user, while by running the su hyphen command, we not only switch in the account of the other user, but also at the same time, we use his environment. Now let me come back in the account of root, and here also let me come back in the root user account. If you want to switch in the account of root user, suppose I'm in a normal user account right now, and I want to switch in the account of root user, I can simply write su hyphen root. It will allow me to switch in the account of the root user if I know the root password only. It will only allow me if I know the root password. Otherwise, it will not let me switch in the account of the root. Or if I don't mention anything after su command, like if I write su hyphen only, in that case also, it will allow me to switch in the account of root user. By default, it assumes that the target user account is root for the admin. So if you mention root there, that's okay. If you don't mention root there, in that case also it will allow you to switch in the account of the root user if you know the root password. At the same time, you can switch in the account of any other normal user by running the su hyphen command and the username. And if you are doing it from the root account, it will not ask you for the password. Let me show you. Suppose I want to switch in the account of Vikas Nehra user. So I will simply mention su hyphen and the username, which is Vikas Nehra. As soon as I will press enter, it will allow me to switch in the account of Vikas Nehra user. It will not ask me for the password because I am using or I am running this command from the root user account. Now I will teach you the concept of sudo. There is a file in Linux in etc directory with the name as sudo. This file is very important. With the help of this file, we can execute the commands from a normal user account, which only root or the admin user can execute. For that, we need to keep an entry or we need to make an entry in the sudo file. So either we can open this file in VI editor by running vim/etc/sudo command, or we can write vi sudo and press enter. It will allow us to open the sudo file in VI editor. And here we can make an entry for the users or the commands. Suppose I want to provide Vikas Nehra user access everywhere in the system by running the sudo command. So I will write here Vikas Nehra. Let me first go in the insert mode of this file. And after that, I will write here Vikas Nehra all is equal to all, like this. Again, I will write here all, and I will save this file. So here I have clearly mentioned that the Vikas Nehra user can execute all the commands, no matter whether they are the super user commands or the normal user commands. But for the super user commands, he can use the sudo command before the main command. Like if I want to execute a command, suppose I want to add a user. So I will write here user add. And after that, I can mention the username. Since I am executing this command from the root, it will allow me to execute this command, and a user will be added in the machine with the name as Nehra. But if I will do it from a normal user account, it will not let me execute this command. Let me switch in the account of the normal user, Vikas Nehra, and let me execute the user add command. User add Nehra classes. As soon as I will press enter, it will throw an error. It will say permission denied because I'm trying to add a user from a normal user account. Here I'm not supposed to execute this command from a normal user account. So here in this scenario, I can use the sudo command. With the sudo command, I can add a user if my entry is present in the sudo file. So I already made an entry for Vikas Nehra user in the sudo file, and here I can execute the sudo command to add a user. So I will write sudo user add Nehra classes. I will press enter here. Then it will ask me for my password. So I will mention my password here and press enter, and after that it will add the user there. Now let me verify whether the user is added or not. So I will open /etc/passwd file, and it will show us the details of the users which we have added recently. So Nehra user is there, which I added from the root user account, and Nehra classes user is also there, which I just added from the normal user account. So these two users are present. So this file is responsible for the local users. So here we can see the entries for these users which we have added recently. In the same way, we can execute the other commands which requires root privileges or the root access. But here, since we have mentioned that the Vikas Nehra user can execute any command, as we have clearly mentioned all there in this file for Vikas Nehra user. In case if we want to give the limited access, suppose I don't want that this Vikas Nehra user can execute all the commands. So here instead of this all, I can simply mention the command or the binary location of the file which I can execute. Let me show you. Suppose I write here, let me check the binary entry for the user add command, ls-l/usr bin usr has been user-ed. So this file is there in /usr/sbin directory. So I will write here /usr/sbin user-ed. So the Vikas Nehra user can only execute the user-ed command. Let me save this file and let me again add a user from the normal user account of Vikas Nehra user. I will first switch in the account of Vikas Nehra, and after that I will execute sudo user add Amit and press enter. So it will allow me to add the user. Now I can verify the details by running the cat etc passwd command, and here the user Amit entry is present in this file. So this user is successfully added in the system. If I will execute some other command, suppose I want to change the password for this Amit user, I will write here passwd Amit. So it will not allow me to change the password. Here it will throw an error. And if I will do it from the sudo, if I will do it by running the sudo command, then also it will not allow me to set the password for Amit. Because in sudo's file, we have clearly mentioned the command which the Vikas Nehra user can execute. And we have only mentioned the user add command there, not this /bin/passwd. So here we have only provided the limited access on sudo's file to Vikas Nehra user. If we will write there all, in that case, Vikas Nehra can switch in the account of the root user by just typing his own password. Let me show you how can we do that. Again, run the vi sudo command. Here we will go to the same entry of Vikas Nehra user, and instead of /usr/sbin user add, we will write here all. And this time it will allow us to use the sudo command for all the commands which the admin or root can execute. How can I become the root user by running the sudo command? I can simply write here sudo su- and press enter. So you can see that I'm able to switch in the account of the root user here. Here I don't need to mention the root password. It will only prompt me for my own password. And if you don't want to get a password prompt, you can mention no passwd in sudo's file. After that, it will not ask you for your password also. So for that, you will have to go to the same line where you have made an entry for the normal user. And here we can write no passwd : all and save this file. Let me come back in the account of Vikas Nehra, and here if I will execute the sudo command, it will not ask me for the password. Suppose I want to execute fdisk command, so I will write here sudo fdisk and press enter. fdisk/dev. I will have to mention the complete disk name. Let me check the disk name first. lsdlk. So SD is the name. Fdisk command can only be executed from the admin or the root user account. Let me write here fdisk/dev/sda. So you can see that it is not asking me for my password also. So in this way, we can use the sudo's utility or the sudo command. Sudo command is very helpful, especially in those cases where either we want to give the limited access for the normal users, or we don't want to provide the root password to the other users in system. But you will have to make sure while providing the sudo's access to the other users, you should only allow the selected users or only those users who should be able to execute this command, who should have the proper knowledge of Linux. Now you can go through the practice exercise given on page number 271 of the same PDF, and you can practice the questions. If you face some challenges, you can go through the solutions also, which are provided on page number 272. Now we will proceed further. Now I will give you the more details about the user management, where I will show you how to use the user add, user mod, user del commands in Linux. As I told you that the local user management file is /etc/passwd. If you will open this file, you will find the details of the user accounts which are currently available in the machine. Here, this file starts with the root line, and here it is showing us the details of the root user. Actually, the user ID and the group ID for the root user is R0, and which is mentioned here clearly. This file contains different columns. Each and every column has its own meaning. The first column in this file shows the username. So this Amit is a user, and this is his username. So the first column here is showing the username. The second column shows the password details, whether the user entry is there in the file or not. The third column shows the user ID. The fourth column shows the group ID. The fifth column shows the display name. Have a look at this line of Vikas Nehra user. Here, the first column shows the username. The second column shows whether the password is there or not, whether the entry is there in the password file or not. The third one shows the user ID. The fourth one shows the group ID. The fifth one shows the display name. The sixth one actually, it shows the location of the home directory, which is in /home/Vikas Nehra. And the last one shows the default login shell. So these entries in this file are made when we add a user. When we add a user in machine, automatically there is an entry added in this file. So this is called the local user management file. This file is very important because with the help of this file, we can change a lot of things. We can change the username, we can change the group or user ID, we can change the default login shell, or even we can disable or enable the account also. Let me show you. Let me open this file again. Here we are having these 4 user accounts which we have recently added in our machine. The previous accounts which are here are the service accounts which are present here for the services, and these are added at the time of installation. Now, if I will add a new user here, you will find one more entry in this file. Suppose I want to add a user add Sachin. To add a user, I will execute user add command, and it will make an entry for the Sachin user in this file. If I will open this file again, I will find one more entry for the Sachin user. But how these entries are there, how system knows which are the default entries for the home directory as well as for the default login shell, and for what IDs we should assign to a new user. Actually, system keeps 1000 IDs preserved. It starts applying, or it starts assigning the IDs after 1000. From 0 to 999, system keeps these entries for itself in RHEL 7 and 8. While in RHEL 6, this limit was from 0 to 499. So it starts assigning the IDs after 1000. There is a file in /etc directory /etc/defaults, and the name of the file is user add. This file contains the default options. These are the default options which we can set. These options tells the machine what should be the location of the home directory, whether the account should be active or not, when to expire the account, what should be the default login shell, what should be the location of the SQL directory, and whether to create the mail spool or not. And we can know these details by running the user add -d command as well. So this command will also show us the same details. With the help of these options, we can set the default options which we want to keep for the newly created users in our machine. Now, if you want to delete a user, you can run the user-del command. User-del -r and the username. Suppose I want to delete the Amit user account. I will write here user-del -r Amit. Then it will erase the entry from the /etc/passwd file. Here you will find no Amit is present now. Why we are using this option -r? Because if we will not use this option -r, it will not erase or it will not delete the home directory of this Amit user. In case if we want to delete the home directory at the same time of removing the user, we will use this option -r. Or if we don't want to delete the home directory, just want to remove the user, we will only run the user-del command. There we will not specify option -r. Let me show you. Suppose I want to delete Nehra classes user. So I will run user-del Nehra classes, but it will not delete the user home directory from /home. Let me show you. You can see that I executed ls-l/home command, and it is listing the details of the /home directory, and here the Nehra classes directory is present, which was assigned to the Nehra classes user. And instead of username, it is printing the user IDs here. And these entries are here. This directory is there because we have not mentioned user-del option -r while deleting the user. Suppose I want to delete Nehra user. So I will run user-del -r Nehra, and this time it will remove the home directory at the same time. If I will again list the details of the /home directory, I will not find Nehra directory in this directory, which was assigned to the Nehra user. So option -r we can use along with the user-del command in case we want to remove the directory of that particular user which we are going to remove. If we want to make some changes in the user details, we can run the user mode command, user modify. So with user mode, we can make the changes. Suppose I want to change the display name. Let me show you. Let me show you the /etc/passwd file. Suppose I want to change the display name for this Sachin user. There is no display name set here. And in case if I want to set the display name, I will run user mode -c, and in the single quotes, I can mention the display name. Suppose I want to write here Sachin Tendulkar. I will close the single quotes, and after that I will mention the username. Press enter. So what this command will do? This command will modify the user details, and here it will set the display name. Now, if you will have a look at this line of Sachin user, you will find Sachin Tendulkar present in the display name column. In case if you want to create the home directories manually, suppose you already added a user and either by mistake you have removed the home directory or the home directories were not created. So if you want to create the home directories manually, you can very easily do that. You can run the mkdir command, and you can mention /home, and you can mention the directory name. Suppose I will mention here Nehra, and after that you can change the ownership, but that account must be present in the system. Let me add the user. So we already added the directory, and now we will change the ownership. So we will execute chown command, chown Nehra, Nehra, and the directory path /home/Nehra. After that, we will set the permissions. So we will execute chmod, and the directory permissions are 700 /home/Nehra. We will have to keep in mind that the permission should be 700 only. And after that, I can list the details of the user home directory. That is /home/Nehra. So in this way, we can manually add the directories and make the necessary changes by running the chown and chmod commands. Now I will talk about the shell directory. There is a directory present in /etc with the name as shell. So this directory contains different files. Generally, this directory contains the profile files. If we will execute ls-al command, since these files are hidden files, so by running the ls-al command only, you will be able to list these files. All these files are hidden files. Whenever we create a new user in our machine, whatever is there in this shell directory, that will be automatically copied to the user home directory of the newly created user. So by default, all these files are copied to the user home directory when we create a new user. Since the /etc/shell we have already mentioned in the default options. Here you will execute user add-d command, and here you will find the location of this shell directory, which is in /etc/shell. So if we want that these files must be present in the directory or in the home directory of the newly created user, we can keep those files in the shell directory. Let me show you how can we do that. Let me create a file in this location. So I will go to /etc/shell directory first, and here I will create a file. Suppose I want to copy the calendar of current month in one file. Now, if I will execute the ls-al command here, it will display all the files which are available in this directory. Now, if I will create a new user in my machine, then all these files will be copied to the home directory of that user, including this cal file. Let me add a user. User add Tanishq. And if I will show you the contents of the home directory of this Tanishq user, you will find that all the files are there. So these files are automatically copied. We have not manually copied them there. And you can find this file which is having the calendar. So this file we created there in the etc shell directory. So the purpose of having this shell directory is that if we want to copy the files automatically to the home directory of the newly created user account, we can keep those files there in the /etc/shell directory. And in case if we want to delete everything, including the user and his home directory, we can now execute the user -r command. It will automatically remove everything. Now let's proceed further. Talking about the different shells, we can assign different shells to different users, but these shells must be present in our machine. So if you will execute the sh-l command, it will show you the available shells. And if you want to install the additional shells, you can execute yum install command, yum install -y, and the shell name. So it will install the shell, the new shell in your machine, if the repositories are configured on your machine. And in case if you want to assign the different shell to the different users, you can make an entry in the /etc/passwd file, or you can run the user mode command. Let me show you. You can do it by both ways. You can open the /etc/passwd file in VI editor, and there you can go to the line of that particular user where you want to change the shell. You can go in the insert mode and you can mention the shell details. Suppose I want to assign /bin/ksh to the Sachin user, and after making the changes I can save this file. If I will switch in the account of the Sachin user, it will allow me to use the ksh shell. Have a look at this. I'm using the ksh shell, and if we want to do it by the user mode command, we can execute user mode -s be used for the shell. Suppose I want to change it back to the bash shell, so I will write here /bin/bash and the username. Press enter, so it will change the shell. And if I will open the /etc/passwd file, it will show me the changes which I have made by running the user mode command. And this time, if I will switch in the account of the Sachin user, I will be using the bash shell. Have a look at this. So in this way, we can change the default login shell of the user. So guys, that's it from my side for this local user management. In next session, I will teach you the password management and the groups management. And one more request to you all, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, you can do it right now, and you can like and share the videos with others also. Thank you so much for joining us on YouTube. I'll be there on Google Meet where I will look into your queries. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. Good night.